At Raju Law, we don't just provide legal services, we provide a pathway to your American dream. With offices in New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Dhaka, and Dubai, our global team is dedicated to delivering personalized immigration solutions. Whether you are pursuing a green card or navigating complex immigration processes, we are here to guide you at every stage. With a team of 10 associate attorneys and more than 180 law clerks and case managers, we craft solutions tailored to your unique needs. Our technology-driven platform ensures the fastest, most efficient service, saving your time while upholding the highest standards of quality. At Raju Law, we believe in affordable, transparent pricing without compromising on service excellence. Raju Law, where your American dream meets expert legal support. Contact us today.
But there are many details NUS's applicants needs to understand to avoid pitfalls and maximize their chances of success. To guide us through this process, we have an excellent guest today with us, attorney Raju Mahajan. Mr. Mahajan is the founder and principal attorney of Raju Law. He is an accomplished entrepreneur, author, mentor, and speaker, having founded over 10 multinational companies in the US and authorized 4 books. As a licensed immigrant attorney, Mr. Mahajan assists clients over the US with EB-2, NIW, EB-1, EB-5, E2, and other immigration matters. He is particularly passionate about empowering immigrants, especially Bengali speaker, and making legal support accessible to those who need it most. Mr. Mahajan holds a master's in media studies from West Virginia State University, a JD from LMW Duncan School of Law. He is admitted to practice in multiple courts, including the Supreme Court of Maryland and District of Columbia Court of Appeals, and is an active member of professional organizations such as AILA and NILA.
Thank you very much, Manushi, for a warm welcome. So as you already know, our today's topic is EB-5. And by the way, happy Diwali, everyone who are celebrating Diwali all over the world. So without
Yes.
further delay, let's start our presentation today. Our technical support, yeah, thank you very much. So those who do not, do not know, EB-5 is a investment-based immigration. And many people ask me like, hey, your current president, Donald Trump, he doesn't like immigration. Is it a good time to apply for any immigration benefit in the US? The short answer is, well, he likes investment. So EB-5, E2, L1, and then EB-1C, those are like investment-based immigration. And at this moment, investment-based immigration in US is very lucrative. It's very suitable at this moment. So those who are interested to immigrate to America, EB-5 is one of the top option at this moment in terms of time of the application, in terms of the success rate, in terms of the total duration you need to get approved. So I think EB-5 should be a good consideration. Well, the thing is, you have to invest a lot of money, like at least $800,000, which is a lot of money. So if you can afford investing $800,000, EB-5 can be a great option for you. So without further delay, let's go to the next slide. How do we go to the next slide? Yeah, thank you, tech person. I do not see that in my end. All right. So the EB-5 visa is an employment-based immigration classification designed to encourage foreign investment in the U.S. economy. So this is another funny thing. Investment-based immigration EB-5 is within the employment-based classification because the purpose of EB-5 is to create some employment here in the U.S. Also, foreign nationals who invest in a U.S. business and create at least 10 full-time jobs may obtain permanent residency for themselves and their immediate family. And by immediate family, we mean your spouse, and any children under the age of 21. And creating this full-time job sometime may create some tension among applicants. Don't worry, there's a way to easily do it, and I am here to help you. Do not worry about a 10 full-time job. There are multiple people who will help you doing this thing. Next slide, please. All right. So, main EB-5 visa requirements, minimum investment. So there are two different kinds of area. One is called targeted employment area, TEA. If you are investing in a TEA, you have to invest $800,000. But if you invest outside of TEA, it would be 1,050,000 US dollar. So what is TEA? In general, TEA are like in a rural area where there's not a lot of opportunity, and also there are high unemployment areas. So let me give examples. So I live in Washington DC, and there's a city very close from Washington DC. It's called Baltimore. Once upon a time it was like one of the top American cities, but at this moment the unemployment rate is very high in Baltimore. So that's why Baltimore is a TEA designated area. Similarly, there's a lot of other TEA designated areas here in America, so you can invest in any TEA area initiatives. In that case, it would be $800,000. But if you want to invest outside of TEA area, then it would be 1,050,000 US dollar. Well, another very important information is $800,000 is not the hardest part. The hardest part is you have to bring that money to America in a legal channel. Lot of people all over the world, they have $800,000, but they do not know how to bring this money in a legal channel. So what I say in this situation is it's a case by case scenario, and usually that the money the country where you bring the money from, we have to talk to your local chartered accountant and local lawyer, and we can figure it out. In general, a lot of my clients, they bring money through Dubai or Singapore, Malaysia, and I have good connection with local chartered accountants, local lawyers, so I can sit down with them and tell them the requirements, and then they can help you bring money to America legally. So that's very important thing. Job creation. Must create or preserve at least 10 full-time jobs for US workers. Jobs may be direct, non-regional center area, or indirect, regional center. So these direct, non-direct, regional center, non-regional centers, don't worry about those, but those are like a very specific kind of topic to discuss. At this moment, the purpose of this video is for just to give you like a big picture idea, general idea. By the way, another disclaimer I should give you: this is not a legal advice. This is just a information purpose only. YouTube, LinkedIn, and other place video, please do not consider it as a legal advice. If you need legal advice, please contact me. I'll schedule a meeting with you one-on-one. I will evaluate all of your current situation and I'll guide you. That will be more of a legal advice. So at this moment, do not worry about 10 job creation. Either it's a direct or indirect. Those are for specific situations. Now, for this the purpose of this video, just pay attention that you need to create 10 jobs. New commercial enterprise. Investment must be in a for-profit US-based business. Of course, it must be a for-profit, and also it must be US-based. I mean, this is a very common sense. Lawful source of funds. This is the thing I just mentioned to you. Proof that funds are from lawful sources. For example, business, income, inheritance. Those are the things you have to show the lawful source of the money. Otherwise, they may not approve your application. Next slide, please. All right, investment and job creation requirements. So another requirement for EB-5 is at-risk capital. A lot of people, they're scared. They're like, what do you mean by at risk? If I invest $800,000 and if I lose the entire money, is it worth it? The short answer to your question is no. You are not going to lose a single penny from your investment. I cannot guarantee you about approval of your green card under EB-5. Me as an attorney, no attorney can give you 100% guarantee because that's not in my hand. It depends on the USCIS officer, it depends on the judge, but I can guarantee you that you are not going to lose a single penny from your investment, because most of the situation, most of my clients, they invest in regional center initiatives, projects, and it is clearly mentioned that no matter your visa is approved or denied, you will get back the money that you're investing. within a certain period. And what is the certain period, what would be the interest rate within this period, everything would be clearly mentioned. So no matter whether your green card application would be approved or not, you are definitely getting your money back, that's for sure. And that is this $800,000. On the top of that, of course, there are some additional costs, like for example attorney's fee for me. Like definitely I'm going to take some money from you, I'm not going to work free. There are other professionals who are going to also work for you, they may charge you some money. Those money you will not get back, but the investment amount you're definitely getting back. And in general, I tell my clients, like, let's say $800,000 you're going to invest, and on the top of that, around $50,000 to $60,000 would be your net expense as a professional fee, like fee for me, fee for CPA, fee for Securities and Exchange Commission, registered investment advisor. So there are multiple people working for you, and you have to definitely pay them. That would be another $60,000. But the $800,000 you are investing, you will definitely get it back. And that's why, even though it's called at-risk capital, and the reason it's called at-risk capital is any business initiative, any initiative is at risk. There is no initiative, no business initiative that is not at risk. If it is not at risk, then it is not a business venture, right? So that's why it is called at risk. But do not worry about your money. Next one is targeted employment area, TEA definition. Well, rural, outside MSA. MSA stands for Metropolitan Statistical Areas, and cities with population of 20,000 or less. 20,000 or more is not rural area. Any city that is population with 20,000 or less is rural area, or any area outside of MSA is a rural area. So if your initiative is in a rural area, then you can invest $800,000. Similarly, high unemployment areas, are also a TEA. Again, you don't have to worry about that part. Once you start working, I will show you multiple projects from multiple regional centers, and you can definitely pick from there. Do not worry about that part. Next slide, please. Two filing tracks in EB-5. Regional center pooled investment, also direct standard investment. So what is the difference between regional center investment and direct slash standard investment? Regional centers are organizations. They are approved by USCIS, and they have multiple projects. Let's say they have a shopping mall construction going on in Texas. They have a apple orchard construction going on in New York. They have a let's say business center construction in California. So they have multiple projects in their website, in their domain, and you can choose from there. You actually don't have to do anything. You just have to give them $800,000. That's it. They will take care of your entire requirements for EB-5. This 10 job creation and other thing, they will take care of it. So in general, it's way easier to investment through regional centers. Of course, they will charge some money. There is no free work. Nobody's going to work free for you. And what regional centers do, they contact different construction projects, and they say, hey, I see that you're constructing a big project. I can help you get foreign investors who are interested about EB-5, and they will invest in your project, and in return they would like to get the green card. So regional center is kind of a middleman between actual construction projects and you. And me, as your attorney, I will represent you. I will be with you. I will not represent any regional center. I will not represent any construction project. I will represent you. So around 95% of EB-5 applicants go through regional center because it's easy. Most of the EB-5 applicants, they're very rich. They are business people. They're very busy. They don't have time for all these things. That's why they go through regional centers. On the other hand, you can definitely invest directly. For example, you decided to go, let's say you want to buy a winery, or like a vineyard in rural Virginia. Of course, you can do that. You can do everything by yourself. Less than 5% people do it because it takes a lot of time to understand, a lot of time to do all these things. But no matter whether you go through regional center or go through standard application, I will be with you. My job is to help you, no matter what is your path. So the difference is, in regional center application, you are going to submit form I-526E, filed after I-956F. Also indirect job count, you don't have to worry about that. And for direct investment, you have to fill up the form I-526, and also you have to show that you're creating 10 jobs. In general, 95% people, they apply through regional centers. Also, adjustment or consular processing, I-485 if in the US and DS-260 if abroad. All it means is once your first part is approved, then you will go through the second part, which is I-485. If you're within America, then you apply for I-485. If you're outside of America, then you apply for DS-260. I'm pretty sure everybody know about this, but if you have any question, please let us know. I will explain um, everything about this thing. Next slide, please. All right, EB-5 visa filing fees 2025 update. Again, USCIS, they update their visa filing fee very frequently. So today I'm going to talk about this. Probably day after tomorrow they are going to change it. So do not 100% depend on this video for this. Anytime you apply for any immigration benefit, double check the latest form, latest fee, latest requirement, because USCIS, they change it very frequently. So for I-526 or 526E, 11,160,000 base fee plus 1,000 EB-5 integrity fund fee. So it will be like a $12,160. Let's say $12,000 fee for the first part. Then I-485, for I-485 principal applicant is $1,440. And then also there'll be dependent fee. If you have dependents, there'll be dependent fee. And for I-829, $9,525 effective from April 2024. So these are the fees. Again, once you start working, I will explain more detail. By the way, this is not my fee. This is USCIS fee. On the top of that, there'll be my fee. And when you start working with us, I will clearly mention everything in the beginning. I will not surprise you with any like a surprising fee in the middle of the journey. That's not what we do. I will make sure that you understand everything before you start working about anything. Next slide, please. All right, benefit of EB-5. Of course, I think you already know that the benefit is path to permanent residency. Of course, you are going to get green card for you and your family, and by family meaning your spouse and any children under the age of 21. Flexibility, ability to live, work, and study in the US. You will get full benefit as a permanent resident. Lower investment threshold in TEA. Of course, if you invest in TEA, the only amount is $800,000. Even though it's a lot of money for a lot of people, but at the same time, it is not a lot of money for many people. Many people, they have more than $800,000. And another great benefit is that EB-5 is probably the fastest way to get green card. EB-5 is probably, let me tell again, EB-5 is probably the fastest way to get green card if you have money. So this is probably the best benefit for EB-5. Next slide, please. Also, another thing, by the way, this video, we show it in YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. On the top of that, we have Apple and Spotify podcast. So this audio is going there. So those who are listening to podcast, when I say next slide, please don't worry. Even though I'm reading from the slide, but I'm telling everything. So if you just listen to the audio, please don't worry. You are not missing anything. I'm clearly explaining everything. All right, potential risk and challenges. Everything has risk and challenges in this world. Number one, capital requirement and risk. No guarantee of return, risk of losing both money and immigration status. This is more of a theoretical. Do not worry, you're not going to lose any money, especially the investment about you're not going to lose any money. Don't worry about that. Changing rules and policies. So, USCIS always change rules and policies. So it's very difficult to keep in touch with them all the time, but don't worry, that's my job. Due diligence, verify project credibility, regional center integrity, and job creation claims. So this is really important. So there are a lot of regional centers, and not all regional centers are good. Not all of, even a good regional center have multiple projects, and some projects are good, some projects are not so good. So when you choose a regional center, when you choose a project, try to be very careful. And that's also part of my job. I will help you choose the right regional center, right project. And also, we can visit projects in person. I highly recommend my clients to visit regional centers by yourself, and I can go with you. And if you are not in America, if you do not have any visit visa, you can say, hey Raju, how do I visit? I don't have visit visa. Don't worry. If you have any family member, any friends, they can visit a regional center on your behalf. And of course, I can definitely go, with them. So I highly recommend visiting regional centers and visiting projects by yourself before you sign any contract. Next slide, please. All right, visa ability and EB-5 backlog. EB-5 accounts for 7.1% of the annual employment-based visas. Visa issuance can pause or cap runouts. Backlog and priority date movement may vary by country. All those are like more of a theoretical thing. At this moment, there is no backlog, so EB-5 is really good at this moment. Next slide, please. All right. So EB-5 program updates, reserved visas and priority processing. 32% of the annual EB-5 visas reserved for specific areas. Rural filings receive priority proceedings. Recent visa bulletin changes. Visa issuance for unreserved countries paused for fiscal year 2025. It's like visa bulletin update. That's another thing I'm not going to discuss today because that's a totally different discussion. But yeah, if you do not understand visa bulletin, I highly recommend you to understand how to read visa bulletin. I have multiple videos about that. If you watch this video, you can understand. Next slide, please. Any questions? Of course, if you may have a lot of questions. So before we end our discussion today, I'm going to Manushi for any questions she may have at this moment.
Hi, sir.
Thank you, Manushi.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, to that detailed and insightful presentation. Now we will take a very short break, which is 1 or 2 minutes before moving on to our Q&A session. So please stay tuned.
Are you a leader in your field, an innovator, artist, scientist, or entrepreneur? You may qualify for the prestigious EB-1A Extraordinary Ability Visa, your fast track to a U.S. green card with no job offer required. At Raju Law's Dhaka office, we specialize in building powerful EB-1A petitions tailored to your achievements. With expert attorneys, global experience, and a tech-powered process, we bring U.S. immigration success to your doorstep. Your extraordinary talent deserves an extraordinary path. Let Rajula Dhaka open the door to your American dream. Book your consultation today.
Hello, welcome back. After Manushi.
Hello everyone. Okay, so welcome back everyone. That was a very informative session on EB-5 process. Now it's time for our Q&A sessions. So, Mr. Mahajan, we have actually received some excellent questions from our audience in advance, and let's see if during the session also we receive some of them. So, some of the very most interesting asked question, as an investor from Bangladesh, what is the single biggest challenge I will face in my EB-5 petition?
From Bangladesh, I think the biggest challenge, single most challenge you may face is how do you transfer money from Bangladesh to America? Because Bangladeshi government in general, they do not allow transferring money. But recently I heard that Bangladesh government become very flexible, not very, they started becoming a little flexible day by day. Also, a lot of people, what they do, they first take the money from Bangladesh to Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, Portugal, like a third countries, and from there they transfer to America. So the role of a third country in this situation is very important. So short answer to your question, I think the biggest challenge you may face is how do you transfer money from Bangladesh to America? That would be single most challenge.
Okay, so moving on to the second most asked question is a significant portion of my wealth is from selling ancestral land in a rural area of Bangladesh where records are not well kept. How can I prove this as a lawful source of funds for my EB-5 investments?
Well, if you do not have any document for anything, I think the most used alternative is a statement, is a sworn statement, like a notarized statement. You write everything like, "Hey, I inherited this much land from my father or grandfather, and then I sold it in my country, in my area. There is no formal transaction. I got cash, and then I deposited cash probably in the bank, or I kept the cash in my home. But these are all legal source of money, blah blah blah." And then you sign it in front of the notary. That will work. So of course, if you can show any document, that's always better. But if you have lack of any document, a testimony from you signed in front of a notary public will definitely work. But source of fund from Bangladesh will not be the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge would be transferring the money legally from Bangladesh to America. That would be the biggest challenge. But definitely you can work out with that.
Perfect, perfect. So I think this also same goes from the India, right? If the
Pretty much
client is
everywhere,
from
yeah.
India as well,
but
yeah.
but, but India has a better institution than Bangladesh. So transferring money from India to US is easier, comparatively easier than Bangladesh. Of course, it's not as easy as Europe. Like if you have money in Europe, it's literally like within a second you can transfer from any European country to American country. India is a little harder than Europe, but it's way better than way easier than Bangladesh or Pakistan. Those are like a hardest country to transfer money.
So even like let's say the second question is asking the ancestral land in rural areas, right? So even if in India, if they want to show, like let's say in the US, so is it much easier for them to do it compared
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Bangladesh, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So moving on to the next question, can you please tell what are the current minimum investment amount which is required for EB-5 program in
$800,000.
2025?
$800,000. $800,000 US. That's the investment amount, and then on the top of that you have other expenses like attorney fee, CPA fee, and other fees, including everything. Let's say 850 or $860,000. So $800,000 for investment, and let's say $60,000 for different professionals fee.
Okay, so it depends on profile to profile. Like there are different profile for everyone.
Well, so $800,000 is fixed. And then let's say me as an attorney, I charge $35,000. Another attorney may charge $30,000. Some attorney may charge like $20,000. So it depends. So if you choose an attorney who charges $20,000, you may save some money from there. Also, some CPA will charge more, some CPA will charge less. So it depends. So let's say 835. I think that at least at a bare minimum would be 835. $800,000 for investment, $35,000 for different professionals, and to $60,000 different professionals. So that would be the total cost. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. But it also depends on the experience, right? If you are good
Of
attorney,
course,
we
yeah,
will
yeah.
charge.
If
Yeah,
yeah, a
yeah.
lot of attorneys that they're very new, they don't have experience, so they will probably charge less, and then they will do with less money kind of things.
That's good. Okay, so can you also tell what is the difference between investing directly in my own business versus investing in a regional center for an EB-5 visa?
Exactly. So direct investment is, let's say you want to start a apple orchard in America. So let's say you bought a piece of land. Let's say you bought 10 acres of land in a rural America, and so first you purchase the land, and then you hire a farmer to plant apple plants, and then you take care of these apple things. So this entire investment you are taking care by yourself. You start
Okay.
everything from the scratch, and then you create 10 jobs, and then you apply for EB-5. That's a direct investment. On the other hand, regional centers are kind of like a middleman. They contact different existing businesses. It's mostly like I would say 90% of or 95% of the regional center projects are construction projects. So they will contact different construction projects where you will invest. You do not have to do anything. They already have all the setups. You'll just take your money and invest there. That's regional center.
So I think much easier would be the we invest in the regional, right? Rather
It
than
is.
doing
It
it
is.
ourselves, everything from the scratch.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it is possible, but you have to take all the initiatives by yourself. That's why it's a more time consuming, more complex process. Regional center is way easier.
Yeah. Now we have a question from Mohammed Khan. Is it acceptable to send money from US to US or UK to US for the case of EB-5?
From which country to which country? I didn't understand.
From US to UK or US. Yeah, I don't know what is
Yeah,
he
I
trying
mean,
to.
if you
Yeah.
mean, is it acceptable to send money from US to US or UK to US for the? Yeah, yeah. So UK to US is of course good. UK is a European country, so especially UK, there's a huge financial ties between America and UK. So you can easily transfer money from UK to US or any European country. Most of the Middle Eastern, like Gulf countries, like Qatar, Dubai, any UAE countries, Saudi Arabia, it's easy for you to transfer money. Similarly, Singapore, Malaysia, they also have like a Japan, Korea. It's easy to transfer money from those countries. Most of the time, the complexity arises from third world country like Bangladesh, Pakistan. It's difficult to transfer money, but from European country, it's very easy.
Perfect, perfect. So I hope you got the answers, Mohammed. Okay, moving on to the next question. What happens if the EB-5 regional center project, which I invested, is fail and does not create the required 10 jobs?
They will do that. There's no way they will not. That's my job. That's my job to make sure that they will create 10 jobs. Not only 10 jobs, they will maintain all the requirements for EB-5. It's their job to do that, and my job is to ensure that. So do not worry about that part. What you have to do, you have to choose the regional center wisely. I can. So another very important piece of information. Let me tell to our clients. I cannot directly say, please choose this regional center, or please choose that regional center, or choose this project or that project. I cannot say that, because me as a licensed attorney, I am not authorized to say that. Only SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission registered investment advisors, they can tell you. They can tell you, hey, this project is good. You can choose this one. This regional center is good. You can choose this one. They can do that. That's why what I would do, I would introduce you to a SEC registered investment advisor, and they will guide you. But I'll be with you. I will also, check all the documents, all the papers, everything, and if there is any regional center that is not good, I will say, it doesn't look good. They're missing this paper. They should have more paper, something like that. So when you choose a regional center, when you choose a investment project, you have to be very careful. But if you after you choose it wisely, then do not worry about that, because they will definitely make sure that you meet all the requirements. Otherwise, they will go out of business.
That's a very good one. Yeah, there are many clients who are actually worried about all that thing. We have one more question from Mohammed Khan. As I'm living in Bangladesh, so is it acceptable to send money from US to UK to you? Okay, I think he's asking the same question again.
Same question. Yeah. So what you saying is US to US. I don't understand. US to US, like, of course, you can definitely transfer money from one US bank to another US bank. It's very easy. Or UK to US, of course, you can do that. So there's no problem with that.
Oh, I think he's asking, he's living in Bangladesh. So
Mhm.
is he trying to ask that from Bangladesh, is it possible to send money to US or something?
Yeah, it is
I,
difficult. So from Bangladesh to US, it's difficult. It's not impossible. Recently, I heard that Bangladesh government, they allowed some corporations to transfer money to invest in foreign country. I do not know whether you fall within this category. It is
Mhm.
difficult to transfer money from Bangladesh to US directly. So a lot of time, what people do, they take money from Bangladesh to Dubai or Singapore, Malaysia, or you can start a new business in Dubai. So let's say you start a new business, you keep all the money that you generate from Dubai in Dubai bank account, and from Dubai to America, you can transfer it. So there's multiple way to work around to transfer money.
That's a good one. Okay, so next question is, can I use a loan to finance my EB-5 investment?
No, no, you cannot take any loan to finance. Loan money will not, it must be your money.
Okay, so after I get my conditional EB-5 green card, am I required to live in the same state as my investment project?
No, you can live anywhere in America. You don't have to live in the same state.
So let's say if I have already gotten my green card, right? So if I want to, let's say, move to Dubai to start some new company or something, so I can move accordingly, correct?
Dubai is a different story. So what he asked is, so let's say his project is in New York, but he doesn't want to live in New York. Let's say he wants to live in California. You can definitely do that. But once you have the conditional green card, you have to at least live 6 months in America. But I highly recommend living not only just 6 months, even more than that. because if you do not live enough time in America after 2 years, when you have time to remove condition from your green card, it will be difficult. But if you go to Dubai and stay a long time, it would be difficult for you to remove the condition. So that's why staying in America is required, but not in the same state. In America we have like a 50 states. So uh, it doesn't matter, Texas, California, New York, Minnesota, wherever you want to stay, you can stay there, but do not go outside of America for a long time.
Okay, okay. We have a question that how Raju got his green card. So, sir, can you tell me how did you get
Of
your
course,
green
of
card?
course. Yeah, yeah. So it is also mentioned in all my profile. I got my green card through NIW back in. And I said that multiple times. I got my master's degree with a media studies degree back in 2014. After that, I applied for a green card, and then I got approved in I think 2014 or 15. I got it approved. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And Syed Shibli, do you work with EB3 also? So, answer to your question
Yes,
is
yes.
yes.
Yeah, that's not our today's topic, but yes, short answer is yes. For EB3, you have to find a job, and your company is going to sponsor you. But that's not the topic for our discussion today.
Okay, okay. Okay, so there are comments coming. Okay, next question. What happens to my investment money if my EB5 petition is denied by USCIS?
Yeah, no matter your EB5 application is approved or denied, you will get back your money. You'll get back the $800,000 that you invested. You'll definitely get it back.
Okay, okay. After I get my conditional EB5 green card, am I required to live in the same state? Okay, so I think that
You
question is
already
also
answered. Yeah.
already asked. Yeah. So I think our questions are already done. So if there is any questions by the comments, please do let me know. Okay, there is one comment. Do you help finding an employer as well?
In general, no. In general, but I think he's asking about EB3. No, I cannot do that. So there is a company called Great American Recruiter. Usually they have opening, but at this moment they don't have any opening. So other than Great American Recruiter, I don't have any contacts, so I cannot help you find the employer.
Okay. There is one more questions. Are there any minimum threshold to investment? Which field is suitable as per your previous experience? How many years are required to have a green card through EB5?
So minimum threshold is $800,000. Which field? I would say construction. Construction projects are usually easy because there's a lot of construction projects. They create job easily. So construction projects are probably more suitable. And how many years for the conditional green card? I would say 1 year, like 12 months to 18 months, and then to remove condition, there more time. But let's say 18 months for conditional green card.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Okay, and thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for clarifying those questions so clearly. And I'm sure our audience is also really appreciates your practical advice on this. Now, before we wrap up the session, would you like to share any final thoughts or advice to the investors and entrepreneurs considering the EB5 path if they are considering?
Nothing more. So one last last comment, as I say, like this is our current president Donald Trump. He's very investment friendly. So this is the best time for any kind of investment based immigration. If you are willing to do that, this is the best time to do that.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
That's all
thank you
for
very
today.
much, Manashi. I leave, and you please continue the session as you do.
For sure. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir,
you.
for your advices. Thank you.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, that's all for today's Monday Live, and thank you so much to everyone who joined us. Don't forget to follow our page for upcoming sessions and latest immigration insights. And remember, Immigration for All goes live every Monday at 11 a.m. AST, 9 p.m. Bangladesh time, and 7 p.m. Dubai Standard Time. Before we close today's session, let's take a quick look at the latest immigration news from this week. Until next time, this is Manshi Katira signing off. Stay tuned and stay inspired. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's immigration update from Raju Law. We bring you the latest news, USPIS updates, and policy changes that matter. This week's top stories include Chamber of Commerce sues Trump over H-1B fee. November 2025 visa bulletin released. EB-1A demand steady, NIW approvals drop. Visas revoked over social media posts. Los Angeles declares emergency over ICE raids. Supreme Court upholds H-4 spouse work permits. Let's begin with the lawsuit challenging the H-1B fee. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration over the new $100,000 H-1B visa fee. The case, filed in Washington, D.C., argues the policy exceeds presidential authority and would price out smaller employers. Business leaders warn it favors big corporations and harms innovation, citing studies showing skilled immigration boosts job growth nationwide. Now to the latest visa bulletin from the State Department. The November 2025 visa bulletin shows limited movement. In family-based categories, F2A retrogressed by 1 month to October 2025, while F2B advanced 2 months to March 2017. Mexico's F3 moved forward 2 weeks to July 2001. All employment-based categories from EB1 to EB5 remain unchanged from October. Next, new data from USCIS on high-skilled green cards. EB1A filings rose 50% from last year, but approval rates dipped to 67%, the lowest in 3 years. USCIS reports a 67% rise in backlogs due to more evidence requests. Meanwhile, EB2 NIW approvals dropped to 54%, while O1 visas maintained a strong 90% approval rate, remaining a faster short-term option for skilled workers. Now to growing concerns about free speech and visa policy. The Trump administration revoked visas for 6 foreigners who criticized commentator Charlie Kirk online after his assassination. The State Department said it will continue reviewing visa holders who celebrated his death. This follows a wider crackdown on foreign students protesting Israel's actions in Gaza and increased monitoring for visitors' social media activity. Next, major developments in Los Angeles. Los Angeles County declared a state of emergency amid expanding ICE raids that have fueled fear and economic disruption. The 4-to-1 vote allows officials to fund rent aid, legal services, and other relief for immigrant families. Supervisor Lindsay Horvath said the measure ensures full country support for affected communities as arrests of migrants without criminal records continue to rise. Finally, a Supreme Court decision brings relief to many families. The Supreme Court declined to hear a case challenging work authorization for H-4 spouses of H-1B visa holders. The petition, led by Save Jobs USA, argued DHS lacked authority to grant such rights. The refusal keeps the Obama-era rule intact, allowing tens of thousands of H-4 spouses, many in tech, to continue working legally in the US. That wraps up this week's immigration updates. Stay connected with Raju Law for more news, insights, and guidance. See you next week with the latest developments in US immigration.